What's up, family? I'm Dr. underscore remarkable underscore silent. You are remarkable. This is a first YouTube video in a long time, so applause to us. I don't have the sound effects board up, but that's okay. As you can see, to your left or your right, can't really see, can't really tell, we have the developer update that just came out yesterday. I'm gonna try to put out content of actual gameplay, which we're working on, but it also just discussion videos and news updates. I just want to be the DVD channel that is everything. Not just DVD though, we want to do other games and stuff like that. We're gonna expand, but for now, let's just sit here, get some coffee, tea, water, poison, whatever it is which you like to drink, and let's get into it, okay? So developer update came out yesterday. Today is the 24th. I don't know if you're seeing this on the 24th, probably not, but it came out yesterday. So we're a little bit late, but that's okay. It's content. I'm putting it out. So big thing, blood web cost. So last month they overhauled their progression system, yada yada yada. They made it easier to make perks or to get perks. For people that don't know, not gonna go into it, but it's kind of a big change. So now they're making it even better, even easier, potentially. If this goes through, which I think it seems like it's going to happen whenever they put out the Wesker chapter, which is probably in a week or two, where basically every single item costs less. That is the easiest way to put it. As you can see here, the old prices, the new prices, there's a big difference in between them. We love to see it. I'm a big fan of this. I don't really know anybody that, well, I heard a couple people say they're not a fan of this, or they might be a little bit worried that it becomes too easy to grind. But I'm like, hey, not everybody's life is DBD, right? Some people want to play this game, but also don't want to grind 5 years to get 100 and something perks on the survivor and then 100 something perks on killer. So I think this is good all around for everybody. If you're tired, if you feel like you're getting things too quickly and you know the grind is a little too difficult, you're playing too much. Kapowie. That's the truth. Okay, next thing. Camping and tunneling. We're gonna try to make this a quicker video, 10 minutes. I don't know how long it's gonna be. We'll see. You'll know. Camping and tunneling. Okay. So basically, for people that don't know, they added inbuilt borrow time, which means you can take it, once you get off the hook, you can take a hit, have a protection hit, not go down immediately like you normally would if there was no borrow time or this. And so it used to last for 5 seconds, plus you get, I think it's 7% haste? Yeah, 7% haste. Now it's 10% haste, and it's 10 seconds. Now, am I a fan of this? I'm a survivor main, admittedly. I think that this might be a little OP. I think it's a good change. I think they've moved up to 7 or 8 seconds. I think that's better, but I feel like there's a lot of cases where this could be abused by survivors, especially survivor friends, and so I feel like maybe they move it down to 7 to 8% or 7 to 8% haste, and then kept it at the same haste, and then moved it down to 7 or 8 seconds. I think that'd be a lot better. But I'm not gonna complain. We'll see how this goes. This is all gonna be in the PTB for now, so more stuff to check out, but that's okay. Next change, Medal of Man. Now, new version of Medal of Man, which worked consistently with other endurance, yada yada yada. So they're reverting the recent updates to Medal of Man. So I think they made it 2 protection hits, I believe, was the new update. Now it's back to 3 protection hits, which kind of nerfed Medal of Man into oblivion again. But that's cool. That's cool. I'm not mad, I guess. I don't really try Medal of Man anyway. Medal of Man used to be very strong when it came out, like immensely strong. And then, you know, behavior likes to sometimes answer their super strong perks with nerfing them into oblivion. And you know, you can't win them all. So that is okay. Are we almost done? Yeah, it's not this is a pretty big update, but it's not a huge update. So PTB changes. So basically what they've changed Wesker a little bit. One thing they noticed during the PTB was that the collision detection on his rush was a little too sensitive, causing the killers to bump into objects that they shouldn't have. Kind of like Blight before in PTB times. They've also changed the way that he interacts with pallets and windows. So let me see. I'm kind of reading this with you guys. I didn't read about this, but I'm gonna read it. So we've also polished the way that I don't know how to say that word. Virulent, boo, whatever. Bound interacts with pallets and windows. During the PTB, survivors would not take damage if the mastermind bounded towards them as they were vaulting. This was not intentional. So from my understanding, if you were in the mid vault and he tried to bound towards you, you wouldn't get hit. But you kind of want to get hit, right? That's kind of a perfect time to hit somebody. The mastermind will now hit them with his tentacles if they're caught in the middle of a vault. Additionally, survivors could wait on the other side of a pallet, vaulting back over before the mastermind could attack after vaulting. Oh, so he would stay right on the edge of the pallet, so when he jumps over, you could kind of make him not attack you or not hit you. That's a little play around. But they've changed that. Going forward, standing too close to a vault location as the mastermind bounds over it will result in the survivor being injured, which I'm not mad at. I think that's how it was originally intended. You know, with the PTB, you see a lot of bugs and you can fix them. So hey, we like that. Next, we revisited his power and loops. We found his base movement speed between bounds to be a little slow, making it difficult to get into position for another bound. Interesting. For this release, we've increased the Mastermind's movement speed to 2.76 meters. Basically, they sped it up. So in between his dashes, they call it bounds, but in between his bounds, he's a little bit faster now, which makes him stronger. Overall, that makes him stronger. One of the quirks of V-Bound, we're gonna call it V-Bound. One of the quirks of V-Bound is an ability to throw survivors at each other, injuring both survivors in the process. Oftentimes, those unfortunate enough to have their friends flung at them would not even realize that they had been injured. They wouldn't even realize it. So now they basically cause deep wounds. So you're still injured, but now you have even more injury to you. You have to basically mend first, kind of like Legion, or really if you got hit with a protection hit. All right, that's all deep wounds, right? I don't know who I'm asking, but maybe you know. Point is, this is still good. I like this. It makes it easier for the survivors to know they've been hit, and if I'm not mistaken, which I very well could be, it takes longer for them to heal up from when they got hit. So hey, I like that. Lastly, they have some perk changes. Let's look at these perk changes. Not a ton. It looks like just the newer perks they've changed. Reassurance, this perk allows you to pause look. So this was the one that was very scary for killers. It could be very much abused. Basically, if the killer was within, I don't know if the killer was within the range. I think the survivor can just go up, press a button, and then the wiggle, not really a wiggle, the hook timer is paused for 40 seconds. And it had a very small cooldown. And then multiple people could use it, so you could kind of infinitely keep a person alive, which is obviously not ideal. So they've changed that. Now, the PTB originally had a 40-second cooldown and could be used repeatedly when coordinated with other survivors that could have been abused, like we just said. For this release, they have now removed the cooldown of Reassurance. Instead, Reassurance can only be used once per hook instance. Makes sense. So you can use it only for a max of 3 times. That makes a lot of sense, actually. And I think I said 40 seconds, but it takes 40 seconds. It was a 40-second cooldown, but I think it paused the timer for 30 seconds. I believe so. But the point is, it was very abusable. Now it's not, because you can only use it once per hook state, if I'm getting that right. Yeah, for a maximum delay of 90 seconds. So I like it. I think it's a nerf, but it's a necessary nerf, so not mad at it at all. Awakened Awareness. This perk grants the killer aura reading while they are carrying a survivor onto I can't even speak English. On the PTB, this effect also lingers for 2 seconds after the carried survivor is dropped, hooked, or wiggled free. This effect can be a little oppressive on certain killers. Nurse, especially when paired with Lethal Pursuer to extend the aura. Nurse. So basically, they nerfed this perk. It was very strong on Nurse. They reduced it a little bit they reduced it to not have such big synergy with Lethal Pursuer, which is fantastic. It's not a bad thing. It's still a very useful perk, you know, in its builds, the builds that you would use it with, but it's not oppressive, which is great. Next thing, low profile. Low profile hides your scratch marks and pools of blood when you become the last survivor for 70, 80, 90 seconds. Fortunately, this meant the perk would only activate once per match, and only if you happen to be the last survivor standing. Not a very good use case for a perk. There's a lot of perks like that they need to look into. But hey, it makes sense. For the reason we changed this to include anytime you are the only survivor who is not dying, hooked, or dead as well. That's cool. That's actually amazing. So you know those times where you got 3 people slugged, or 1 person on the hook, and then 2 people down on the ground, or there's only 2 people left, and you're 1 person's on the hook. Well, now you don't have any scratch marks, any pools of blood, and now it basically gives you a old Iron Will too, which is very powerful. So it's very useful if you're the last person that, you're a person that has to kind of bring the team back. Those situations where like the whole team is down, they need your help. This is going to be a very good supplement to that. Don't know if I would run it very often for myself, because it's still a very, very kind of like quirky use case. It doesn't happen that often, but if it does happen, you have this perk. Oh goodness, you're great. So I'm not mad at that perk at all. Last thing, better than new. Last perk, I should say. This perk granted any survivor you healed a 6% action speed bonus to repairing, healing, chest opening, and totem cleansing for 25, 30, and 35 seconds. They found the duration of this perk to be a little low, so now they've made better than new. They gave it a little bit of a buff, if you will, a little bit of a buff. It now grants 12%, 14%, 16% action speed bonus to healing, chest opening, and totem cleansing and blessing, which is great. And better than new, no longer has a duration. Survivors instead keep the bonus until the next time they take damage, which makes it a lot more powerful. It's a very altruistic perk because you don't really get to use it yourself, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, you can help boost other people. So they're healing, chest opening, totem cleansing, and blessing. Now, I don't really think it's super useful. It's altruistic, but I mean, I don't know how many, I don't know. I feel like it can be very, very useful, especially if you have like someone that's running, let's say, a speed heal build, like I don't know, someone like Dr. _Remarkable does. If you're in a Swift, you have one person run this perk to help you boost your speed with your healing even more. Pretty good, but besides that, it's an okay perk. It's an okay perk. Yeah, I'm glad they buffed it, so it's not just a terrible perk, but eh. And the last thing, Raccoon City, for those that don't know, it's now been split. When this next release comes out, it will be split into 2 different variations, East and West Wing. So you're not gonna play the entire big thing; it will be smaller. But they removed some of the palettes because they felt a lot of palettes to be a little too strong, a little too much. So, you know, that's something that should help the killers out, which we love to see. I am a Survivor main, but I don't try to be biased, so I do like to see how killers get helped out as well. And obviously to a certain extent on both sides, but I like it. So overall, this should be coming out whenever the new chapter comes out, which I'm assuming will be either next Tuesday or the Tuesday after that. Next Tuesday being, let's see. So either, you know, August 30th or September 6th of 2022. And so we'll see these come out very soon. Tell me guys, let me know in the comments if you guys like this. I think it was cool. I think it's pretty good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think. Like I said, we're gonna continue trying to make more YouTube videos and make it a little bit quicker, trying to do 1 to 2 videos a week. Discussions, gameplay, updates, news, whatever the heck. I don't care. You care. I care too, but like I don't care what I'll post. I do care what I'll post. You get what I'm saying. We're just gonna end it here. I love you guys as always, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Okay? And bye.